divided into three ownerships, right? So ownership classes: governmental lands, akua lands, or deities, right? Those are two, and then there's commoner lands. So every one of us own lands. At the overthrow, the state had encumbered governmental lands and akua lands, or deity lands. This parcel right now is governmental lands. It is the state of Hawaii Department of Land and Natural Resources, Department of Forestry and Wildlife. With that said, with your question, the knowledge, there was another group in Central Maui that said every farming aspect tries to look for a better way to accomplish what they're doing. And in the state of Hawaii, Native Hawaiian farming was so advanced in its time, and to this day, that there isn't any system that can keep up with it, other than technology of pumps and this and that. So if you think about it, we went to Montana, we went to Colorado, and I see all these rivers that everybody has a share to the river. And so then they divert it.
Water rights.
Right. They have water rights, they take the water, and they're allocated so much water from this river. Hawaii's been doing that since the beginning of time, since they got here, right, from the Marquesas. So we have a lot of these ditch systems that I mentioned earlier is based off of the Hawaiian Hawaii system. We take water from the stream, we use what we need, and that water goes right back to the stream. So we don't have no loss anywhere. Because just as important of sustaining land, we have to sustain the ocean, right? If we don't have a healthy reef, we all know what happens. The reef dies and then we get erosion, coastline erosion. So after the fire, there was all of this talk because there was an election coming up. Everybody said what they needed to say to get reelected, but nothing has happened. You guys were at the meeting Wednesday night. I saw you guys, orange, right? Yeah. I saw you guys there. I was in the back. I had the high-vis yellow. You guys noticed that there was no community questions other than that grant, the 1.8 billion, but there was no questions. Funny how they make that voice, because since day one after the fire, I've been advocating to the county, why can't we have just a microphone and everybody comes up and asks the question? Because instead of you as a government agency having to tell every single person the same answer for the same question, why not just have me ask the question and everybody can hear the answer? So we get back to the point of, well, let's say what we need to say to who we need to say it to. We get to control information. So when we're talking about the Hawaiian Renaissance and the movement, there is no movement. The movement is based on this right here, right? The government will not, the county officials, the state officials, and the federal officials will never allow indigenous people anywhere to make a movement happen and move forward. They will never allow that. Look at what happened on the Dakota pipeline. Look at what happened right after the fire. What happened in Oahu? The military's diesel fuel bank leaked, causing a threat to the only drinking water source on the island of Oahu, which has 1.3 million people on it, not including the military. That's what the military is doing. That island, you guys can't see it, it's right over here, Kaho'olawe. Growing up, it used to be a show for us. We would go to the town of Oluwalu, park on the beach, and watch all the explosions because the Navy was bombing it.
Testing site.
Yeah. The Navy was so accurate that they would miss the island and hit Kihei. Where's my Kihei bro? They would land. They missed so badly that they landed bombs on Ulupalakua, which is 20 miles above Kihei. How do you miss that bad? 3 months ago, the Navy put in a proposal that they want to continue bombing the northern Hawaiian Islands. Kanoa, I believe, is the island. It's 70 miles north of Kauai, where Zuckerberg is. So there is no there is no government that would allow Hawaiian Renaissance. The only reason why we stopped the bombing of Kaho'olawe is because there was a group of 5 gentlemen that landed their boat on Kaho'olawe. 2 of them were never found again. We never found those guys. The other 3 of them, they returned home, but because of that incident, the Navy stopped. They fought to restart that bombing again. They stopped it, I think, in 97 I want to say, somewhere around there, in the mid to late 90s. So it's not old, right? Think of it this way. What is the average birth year of you guys? Like
they're mostly about 20.
What?
So 96, so the 90s. Okay.
20 to 30.
So think of it this way, right?
Not me.
Everybody says, "Hey, Hawaiian culture, get over it, move on, da 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 da." You know, it's a thing of the past. It was illegal to teach Hawaiian language in the state of Hawaii up until 1987. Illegal. You technically could get thrown in jail for teaching Hawaiian language in 1987. So that's not long ago. In America, you guys celebrate 4th of July, the independence. That was over 400 years ago. Get over it. Move on. Something of the past. In whatever area that was, they still memorialize the Battle of Gettysburg. Get over it. That was like 300 years ago, 200 years ago. Get over it. What the hell? Doesn't fit, that doesn't sound right, doesn't feel good. That's what we go through. Pearl Harbor. We're going to build a sewer treatment facility on your burial sites, or we're going to build a sewer treatment facility on your burial sites. That was the option we was giving when they built Pearl Harbor. This is Arizona. Understand it's a memorial. Understand hundreds of people died. That's one of the greatest environmental disasters in Hawaii. That thing leaks 55 gallons worth of oil. You know, the 55-gallon tank.
See a sheen.
Every day. Every day. And the Navy refuses to clean it up. That's an ecological disaster. Pearl Harbor was one of the most pristine Hawaiian fishing villages in Hawaii. And we won't clean it up. So when we talk about the Renaissance, we can say what we need to say of like, oh yeah, we want to promote this, this, and this. It doesn't happen. It doesn't. At the Unity March, you heard a lot of the governor, let Lahaina lead, let Lahaina lead. I gotta backtrack a little bit. Our West Maui Mountains is the aquifer for West Maui, Central Maui, North Maui, the West Maui Mountains, and all of Kihei, South Maui. That's our aquifer. Our county council just approved, not all, the majority, 5 of them, just approved a development in Kihei for 1,000 homes, and it literally states for non and part-time residents. They were supposed to do approximately 500 affordable units when that development was proposed. They're now trying to scale it back to less than 200. And actually, they haven't given a number of how many affordable homes they want to give. But they're taking our resource. So when they say let Lahaina lead, we could have been the roadmap for a lot of things, right? Here's an interesting thing for you guys in the next 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years. Let's look at Palisades, Malibu, all of these areas that got devastated by the fire. Let's look at the rebuild model. Are they going to take this opportunity to build these neighborhoods safer and better? Or like Lahaina, fuck it, just build. It's the Wild West, guys. I'm a carpenter. I've been building homes. They do not follow county code on the building codes. We have, in my neighborhood alone, we have 47 builds right now, and there's only 17 permits. There's a cul-de-sac, right? 2 blocks from my house. 7 homes put in their permits. The smallest size home, this is 6,000 square foot lot. That's all, just 6,000 square feet. The smallest house is a 5-bedroom. The biggest is a 10-bedroom. Where are they gonna park? So if you guys heard about our disaster, we call it mill camp. That was where the most people died because it was so congested, people couldn't get out. There was no exits. What's gonna happen to the next neighborhoods? Right now, that cul-de-sac has 48 rooms that's gonna be built in a cul-de-sac of 7 homes. That's it, 7 homes. Where are they gonna park? So we're adding to that. So I would really put it on you guys to do a case study to see how does Malibu rebuild? How does Palisades, because Malibu's got money, right? They're gonna push that. How does Palisades push back? How do they rebuild?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's gonna happen with us is much of that development was done before our current laws and before our current environmental change. So a lot of that stuff that burned, or unfortunately is still burning, is, you know, hanging off a cliff on the beach. That ain't gonna be permitted. Like, no matter what, that's not gonna be permitted. But the rest of it is, it's a great point. So I think what, you know, we've been talking about, when we talk about plastic, we've been talking about systems thinking and sort of getting away from your guilt and talking about how do we make it better for everybody and going forward together kind of thing. And part of that also, and this is a bit uncomfortable for someone like me, because my currency is science, right? My currency is like objective and I don't do politics, but increasingly the folks that are in leadership maybe don't really look at all the big picture, and so it gets hard. But what we need is good leaders, and sometimes that means that leader is not going to be reelected. And so I think the best example of this is this town on the Ohio, one of the tributaries of the Mississippi, in the 70s or 80s, can't remember, 70s or 80s. Flooding, right? So their disaster was the flooding jumped out of the river and you know, destroyed the town and everything. So he decided what they would do is they would eminent domain take those houses, pay the people, but take the houses, turn into a greenway. But he knew that if he did that, he would lose the next election. But it was the right thing to do. That would save people and money and all that stuff. So he did it, and then sure enough, he lost the next election. So about 15 years ago, we had another massive flood on the Mississippi. Huge thing. People flooding farms and everything. The only town that didn't flood was this guy's town. So then they put up a statue to him, right? But that's like 20, 30 years later, right? We need leaders that are interested in the right decision, not the re-election. And I understand that politicians are part of the deal is to get elected, but we need that good leadership. So when you guys go to vote, you should be thinking of these things, because that's where, and these crises happen. You can't re-elect someone in an instant. It's the people we put in power before the election happened.
Yeah.
That's what's hard for us is, like, we tried so hard to, like, flip this election, and it made it even harder that our people were displaced and not getting their ballots. But Uncle Jeremy saw it from the beginning, was like, there was honestly no way we were gonna flip a seat. So we don't have majority as Aloha Aina local people. The majority are the people that are bought out by big developments, and that's how this Wailea is getting pushed through. So to be honest, we're pretty damn scared for the next 2 years locally here with our county council. Like we're almost fucked, to be honest.
So you guys up there, you guys see the building, the picnic table? Look to the left. There's a building right on the ocean. It's like 4 stories tall, brownish building. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So that building, like Boss Man said, right? Your guys' current laws will not allow those houses to be built. That whole area of French Street, that whole area was owned by 2 families. They sold off over the years. It is now worth, just that building, that shoreline access, that building alone, the property is worth $32 million, right? So now this is the issue Malibu's gonna face, and now it's gonna be how strong does everybody, how strong is their will, right? Is Gavin Newsom gonna wanna get reelected or not? Or is his term out? I don't know. They're all suing the county of Maui because they're not being allowed to build. The county of Maui is so terrified of lawsuits that I think they're gonna cave into that. That building is allowed to, they're working on it right now as we speak to reopen it. Not for residents, for short-term rentals. And we just tried, Lahaina Strong just pushed hard to eliminate short-term rentals in certain areas of Hawaii, of Maui. But they're gonna allow that. Generational families, I know a family, Hawaiian family is one of the oldest families in West Maui. And their mindset is, well, if the ocean takes it back, the ocean takes it back. We're not gonna fight that. But yet every other property owner is fighting so that they can build over the ocean, not on the beach. Because they're not gonna have shoreline in the next 10 years. So they wanna say, yeah, I'm gonna put them on stilts so I can be over the ocean. So that's an interesting case for you guys for Malibu. Like, yes, the current law states, brother, you guys are gonna lose your house, your property. But I have enough disposable income to fight you guys till you guys give in. Totally. Because it's Malibu, right? That's gonna be the
That
interesting.
never happens in Malibu.
No,
No,
not at all.
never.
Not at all. So, as
Holidays.
Boss Man said, listen, guys. When you guys, I'm not putting it on you, but I'm putting it on you guys. I put it on everybody. Are we more for this? Oh, look, I just voted. I voted sticker. Are we really doing our fucking history and our research to know who we putting into power, right? Now, nationally, I could give two fucks about nationally. But you guys, local, county government, your state government, yeah, pay attention to that shit. Strongly. I don't care what you guys' views are. I'm not here to argue that. I'm here to say, make an educated decision on what you guys do and stick by it. Don't turn around and say, oh shit, da 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 da. It's like, I voted for this fool. Yes, I fucked up because I followed the trend. Or you can be on the other side. I voted for that fool, but you fuckers voted for that guy, so we lost. Stick by your vote. Whatever decision you make, there's a consequence. Face it and stand by it. That's it. That's life. Yeah? Hopefully your decisions are a better decision for humanity and for all of us. That's all. Anyway, sorry. Getting off my soapbox. I'm sorry. Let's get back to it. What if